This is a Golden Field Day Incorporated video. Hello, my name is Jennifer Roberts. I am the president of Golden Field Days Incorporated. Basically, this first video is to go over our first official board of directors meeting. We have these meetings annually. We basically keep a record of everything that was stated in the meeting, and we keep notations of everything that everybody said while we were in the meeting. These meetings are basically to discuss what happens through the organization throughout the year, our financial statements, any elections for directors of the board, any elections that we need to take place for officers, any elections that we have to take place for subcategories like concessions, parades, uh, fundraising, whatever we need to discuss. That's what this yearly annual board meeting is about. Now, we're going to have different meetings throughout the years for everybody to discuss things, but there is always going to be an annual board of directors meeting to where we print out what we discuss and everything that needs to be summed up throughout the year, and we put it in a nice little folder and we keep it. We used to do this every year when the organization was first developed back in 1985 all the way to 2000. We had a folder every year. I wish I could find all of that paperwork because that would be great. A lot of our connections were in there. Hopefully one day I'll come across it. But as of right now, what this video is for me to read out the notes for the board of directors meeting. So here we go. The first annual board of directors meeting was on July 21st. It was held about 1:30, and it went a little bit longer than that. The first thing we discussed at the meeting is Golden Field Day's mission statement. This is very important because this is the whole reason we are around, okay? Our mission statement. Our mission is to provide year-round social and recreational opportunities for persons with special needs, facilitate community awareness and knowledge about persons with special needs in our community and surrounding regions, and to support and empower families of these persons with special needs. We basically went over what our mission statement meant, what we felt it meant to each other. We moved on by discussing the board of directors and how there has to be 6 of them, and that each director stays in that position for 10 years unless the vice president and president have a meeting and veto you for some weird reason, or by any chance health reasons. Whatever case may be, you stay around for 10 years unless said reason happens. We discussed that there are 6 of us in the board. Myself, Jennifer Roberts, Elizabeth Ostermiller, Joyce Siegel, Cynthia Ostermiller, Melinda Roberts, and Tiffany Roberts. It's the 6 of us board members. During this meeting, we had 2 people that were only attending online, which was Cynthia Ostermiller and Tiffany Roberts. And then there was 3 of us in person along with being online. Myself, Jennifer Roberts, Elizabeth Ostermiller, and Joy Siegel were in person discussing the stuff. Then right after that, we went over the bylaws. The bylaws were pretty much printed up on June 20th. It just states everything that we have to go by when it comes to voting in meetings, such as the fact that we have 4 officers: the president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, when meetings can be held, vetoes, all that is in the bylaws, and those were written on July 20th. After that, we discussed contacting Amazon because Joy works for Amazon and she knows they like doing a bunch of fundraising. So we discussed that. I told her that I did do up a donation letter along with a copy of the employee identification number to prove that we were legit. Amazon and 20 other ones were sent out at the same time. Donation letters are one way of us getting donations. I mean, the next thing we discussed was how we are now legal as of the 20th. I registered for the state of Kentucky Our CBI number is 000438769. And then we're also officially a nonprofit organization. Our employee identification number is 47-456-9296. Again, our EIN is 47456-9296. After that, we printed up some donation letters, volunteer applications, hugger applications, and athlete application forms just to go through them, discuss them. We stated that there's like 20 items on the Golden Field Day sales page. Now, since the meeting, there's like 43. We were talking about the best package on there was the baseball package. It's going for about $30. Then we read over the bylaws. I basically read the beginning of the bylaws and summed it up to no director of the board should receive any personal gain. So we discussed that and what personal gain is. I covered annual meetings and special meetings. And then I summed up the bylaws and the officers by stating that there's a president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary, which we would be voting for that night. We went over some of the government paperwork and forms that I had to fill out to become an organization. We looked at different picks and discussed what they meant, different meanings. These were some of the picks we discussed along with that we're making this flyer for Golden Field Day. We discussed, what these pictures meant to us. After that, we discussed the statement of finance, which is printed out once a month. We're going to print one out once a month. I went over that in another video, Statement of Finance, July 21st, 2015. After that, we discussed our internet addresses, such as goldenfieldday@gmail.com is our email address. We discussed our Facebook address, www.facebook.com/goldenfieldday. Our Twitter's @goldenfieldday. And then we discussed the GoFundMe page, www.gofundme.com, Fund Golden Field Day. We went over the donation letter because I originally printed out one. I wanted everyone to see it. We went over it, corrected any changes, and printed out a new donation letter. And then after that, basically we ended the meeting with our vote for who's going to be president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. Then we also discussed how we're going to have subcategories where people are going to be in charge of concessions, games, prizes, reward ceremony, opening parades, fundraisers, office supplies. There's going to be subcategories that different people are going to be in charge of, and we discussed that. We did the vote, and it came out that I'm president of Golden Field Day for the next 10 years. Our vice president is Elizabeth Ostermiller for the next 10 years. Treasurer is Tiffany Roberts for the next 10 years. And secretary is Joy Siegel for the next 10 years. The other two board members are Melinda Roberts and Cynthia Ostermiller for the next 10 years. And it'll stay that way unless something negative happens or something comes up. Those will be our board members. You have your vice president, Elizabeth Ostermiller. We have our treasurer, Tiffany Roberts. And then we have Joy Siegel as our secretary. And then our other board members are Melinda Roberts and Cynthia Ostermiller. Thank you for joining us today to sum up the Board of Directors meeting on July 21st, 2015. Thank you, and we'll come back with more videos for you to watch.